Cafe for putting that together. Well, I got a bio on Salvador Balcorta, and I need glasses, and words are very small. I don't have a teleprompter. But anyway, there's a lot here about Salvador, and I'll tell you a little bit. Salvador Balcorta is a Master's of Science in Social Work. He's the CEO of Centro de Salud Familiar La Fe. Since his early teens, Balcorta has been one of the community's leading voices for awareness and activism for key issues such as substance abuse, HIV, AIDS, teen pregnancy, gangs, incarceration, economic development, immigration, U.S.-Mexico border, health, and social justice. He served his community on numerous local, national, and international advisory boards and several prestigious presidential committee meetings. That's his bio. But Salvador is so much more than that, and you all know that. He has been in this community, es un guerrero. Es un guerrero de la gente pobre, es un guerrero de la gente que necesita ayuda. And Sal has been around for a long time and continues to make a difference every single day. He and his team of people make a difference every single day. It's a privilege and an honor to call him a friend. Let's give a warm welcome to Sal, El Paso's biggest advocate.
Beautiful is the sunrise in the morning when I come before you. For you are the light of my life. Usted es la luz de mi vida, así como el sol es la luz del dulce amanecer. You are my everything, for without you, I could not go on. You are the embrace, you are the kiss, you are the blessing that I seek. Usted es mi todo, pues sin usted no supiera qué hacer. Usted es el tierno abrazo, usted es el noble beso, usted es la bendición que yo busco. Bonito es el amanecer en la mañana, cuando me presento ante usted, for you bring hope and faith to my life. Usted es el calor de mi alma, así como el sol es el calor de la vida. Beautiful is the sunrise in the morning when I come before you. For you bring warmth to my soul, just as the sun brings warmth to our lives. Usted es el lindo amanecer que da fe, esperanza y vida. Buenas noches. The words that you have just heard are words that I dedicated to my mother years back. Over the years, this has become the anthem for Centro de Salud Familiar La Fe founders, the women who struggled, the women who made Centro what it is today. They mobilized together to attempt to have a better life for their children. Tonight, Father Rahm, querido Padre, we dedicate those words to you. Our love, our honor, y nuestro respeto a usted for what you've done. You may have been gone for 51 years, but in our barrio, you are still in our hearts every day. Like the mothers of El Segundo in the 50s, loved you and blessed you every day of her life. Our mothers, as you know, wanted a better future for us. They wanted us to be free of gangs, free of poverty, free of drugs, free of alcoholism. free of violence, free of death. A world free of the social ills that had already destroyed and plagued so many families. What they wanted, what they dreamt of, was a better world, a better future, a future that they knew their families could have. They wanted more than just those 2 rooms in the tenements, in los presidios, in las vecindades. They wanted to have better housing, affordable health care, a quality education, and good jobs. On your fabulous life, as you rode throughout our community, you personally wanted to connect every minute with every one of us. It wasn't enough to just see us in church. You had to have you with us, even in the barrio. Our lives was what you really wanted to know about. You wanted to get in touch with every little aspect of our community, and that included our family. As you traveled the neighborhood, you encountered children happily playing trombos, tops, playing canicas, marbles, playing the different games that we used to have. Leche, hopscotch. We never really knew what leche was. And then, as you walk the streets, and as you enter the different neighborhoods, you would hear, Chilagua! Chilagua, arriba voy! And when they would throw the bote, right? 1, 2, 3. Or when we were playing las escondidas. And then, of course, we would always remember when you would pass us by on your way to see our gangster brothers. Los 4F, los 13, los 14, los K9. You followed and you learned and you opened up Our Lady's Youth Center with important individuals like Joe Aguilar, Memo Acosta, Lalo Delgado, Father, who made you famous with a poem called Stupid America! Remember? Look it up, it's a great poem. With Tule Lovali. With Tuffy Lopez. Later on, other people that took their places and carried on your spirit. You provided a safe haven for us at Our Lady's Youth Center. You provided a place where children would go play games that we never knew about. Pick up sticks, checkers, even chess. Let me say that Our Lady's Youth Center had a very important aspect to discipline. Very, very important aspect to discipline. It was called the Poco. I don't know how you translate that into English. A knuckle on your head that came with, pórtate bien, pórtate bien. When I would see Lalo around the country, I would remind Lalo about the Pocos. And she said, hijo, all those Pocos that you got were for cariño. Memo and Joe later on repeated that. You know, at the youth center, you used to bring together social clubs. for girls and for boys. We talk a lot about Tula, but we never talk about Mrs. Tula. Right? Rosalita? And she would form the girls' clubs of the youth center. You know, when you went and looked for the social ills in the neighborhood, we cannot forget that you also took young men and young women that had not been trapped by the social ills of gangs. And you created a way of life, a club that would help you in your crusade. And every summer you would even bring people from as far away as the crusade for justice, as St. Louis. When you answered the calling of some of these individuals, you had amongst you Father Sam Rosales, who was later to make a career out of being a Jesuit priest. And we thank you for that, Sam, because you're one of our own that has stayed here. When you came to South El Paso, you initiated a legacy that was never to leave. You were here, where you were always trying to defend even those that had no defense. You came in here and you saved the people that were incarcerated by going to them, and not just with your ministry, but with your loving reminder that they had a family, that they had a community that loved them. Those gentlemen never, ever forgot. You always had the time to stop and to listen. You always cared. You did more than just preach. You listened and you heard our dreams, our hopes. You listened, sir, and on your way to save hundreds of young lives, you saved gangsters like El Bari, El Gato, El Tubo, El Ricky, El Flaco, and so many more. You counseled our mothers, you scolded our fathers, and provided our sisters and our brothers with a life of hope and a better future. When you heard the Segundo Padre cry or despair, you couldn't keep silent. You listened and then lifted your voice alongside those men and women that were seeking justice, dignity, and peace. Our cause, nuestra causa, became your cause, your causa. You stood side by side with us, and you became part of our family. Si el corazón hablara, how many of us would sit and listen? How many of us would sit and listen to sorrow, to hurt, to the palpitation that quickens as it goes insane? ¿Cuántos de nosotros escucharíamos la pasión, the passionate plea to let us be, to let us see, and injustice become justice, and inequality become equality, a dishonor become honor, a death become life? How many of us would sit and listen to a cry of sorrow, to a cry of fight, to make things right? ¿Cuántos de nosotros escucharon al corazón gritar un grito de angustia que asusta hasta sí mismo? Un grito de guerra que corre y palpita, que se llena de pasión, que transmite una pasión que se sale para afuera. How many of us would sit and listen to a cry that leads and reads your own heart y te hace llorar, porque no puedes negar la injusticia, el deshonor, el engaño, el desrespeto a nuestra gente. Si el corazón hablara, how many of us would sit and listen to an angry heart? Together with Gula and Joe, you organized children's support to get us away from drugs and gangs. You did whatever you had to get us to that basketball field or to that football court. And you could learn how to get along, trust each other, and settle our differences, not with guns, not with knives, but with support. I remember that pickup, sir. I remember it very, very fondly. Gula, or one of his assistants, would come by the house. Our house was a two-room tenement. They honk the horn, and here you come out running with your football uniform. A uniform of multi-colors. A uniform with so many colors in it that you didn't know what color the team represented. And then, when you would get on that truck, the truck wouldn't start. And here all the team would have to get out of it and push, and Gula would say, "It's pre-game exercise." I have beautiful fond memories, sir, of you and your sister. One of your sisters is here, and she just reminded me of your sister when she used to go to the tent. Your sister. And welcome. This is Father Rahm. And Leona, your sister Leona, what? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. She's playing the violin a bit. Yes, ma'am. And your sister Leona would be there, and she would be playing the violin for us as she gathered all the kids. And she would put them in the stairwells. As you went around visiting our moms and our dads. And your sister was the best thing that we ever had. Because she would be there playing the cucaracha, and she would be playing Old MacDonald, and she would be playing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and all of a sudden, we'd be hearing la cucaracha, la cucaracha. And slowly, with those songs, she would transmit and transfer into Bendito, bendito, bendito sea Dios. And before we know it, we will learn about attitude. And you would be going door to door, talking to our mom. And before you knew it, one of them would be pulling out one of their kitchen tables, another one would be pulling some of the cabinets, another one would have a piece of tablecloth that was dark, as if it was all orchestrated. And then, of course, someone would bring a picture or a drawing of the Virgin of Guadalupe. And all of a sudden, that ugly presidio was transferred into a beautiful spiritual temple. And you, sir, you are the one that will continuously bring God's light and spirit into who are present. No matter the poverty, no matter the hope, the challenge, we were always there for the priest that was always pointing to a beautiful future. Our neighborhood children no longer saw you in 1964. And the community felt sad. But the community also felt glad that you were on a new journey to change another community. We never ever thought that it would be 51 years. We would have preferred for you to stay with us for that absence. But you know, there in Brazil, with what we hear that you do, they have become our brothers and our sisters. Where are the people who come? You stand? No matter this, yeah. And you know, important to say, Father, is that the teenagers that you helped in the 50s became the mothers, and then their mothers, their grandmothers, that took on the spirit of nothing. In 1967, they asked for different doctors in the Paso. And you might remember some of them, Dr. Galera, Dr. Nivela, and all of them would come in different services in the station together. And they decided to name the clinic after Father Rahm. And for a while it was called Father Rahm's Clinic, Father Rahm Information and Referral Center. And then later, we changed it to Centro de Salud Familiar. You know, we will always be happy to you. Not just because you dealt with children, with adolescents, and with gangs. We will always be thankful to you because you took it upon yourself to also create the Guadalupe Employment Service. The Guadalupe Employment Service with many Guayanes, who is now passed, but who was very spirited in his way of bringing volunteers and getting some of the mothers to their jobs. Some of those jobs help support a lot of the families. Later, you would go on and create the first and only financial institution that South El Paso has ever had, the Tepeyac Federal Credit. And the men from Our Lady's Youth Center in Tepeyac would come around to the neighborhood and ask for the little librito. And sometimes Mr. Flores and Mr. Raya became the bankers of the And so, this is not to say, but some of the moms have to hide from them that they can have the payment for that. But that, if they answer, stood ground, firm ground, until about 7 years ago. You should be happy about that. Very happy about that. Our mother will also forever be grateful to you for setting those pantries for Memo, Taco, Joe, and all the rest of the staff would prepare bags for those less fortunate. And when some of those families were in meager circumstances, Our Lady's use them would come to the Father, I pray I could go on with everything that you did. One message, sir. Is people are asking you if you're coming back next year. And the famous wing, that's all he has to do is wink or smile, and there's the answer. Sir, we in El Paso love you. We in El Paso respect you. We in El Paso listen. If you hear the wind, listen very carefully. Listen very carefully, and you will hear the wind whispering the most beautiful song you've ever heard. It's a song of joy. It's a song of peace. And as it passes before you, you feel the trace of happiness long, long. If you listen carefully, very carefully, you will hear the wind. It is whispering the most beautiful song of faith and hope. And as it passes before you, you see it take you to a new and better tomorrow. A tomorrow with true social justice. If you listen carefully, very carefully, you will hear the wind. It is whispering the most beautiful song of love. And as it swirls and whirls around you, you feel it touch your very soul. If you listen carefully, very carefully, you will hear the wind. It is whispering the most beautiful song of peace, of joy, of hope, of faith, of love. If you listen carefully, that song is dedicated to you, Rahm, to you. Buenas noches.